It's really not the weapons that are dangerous. It's the people you have to worry about.
Welcome to Heartland Arms, where skill, safety, and training will come together. We're starting a new show for you that's going to be all about firearms. So some of the stuff we are going to do is we're going to have and these are stuff that we use out on the show. So this is just a rubber replica. It is a non-firing. It's just a block of plastic that doesn't even work. We have an airsoft, and when you look at this one, you can see it's just a small holds little pellets and the little airsoft or BBs in there. And then it's CO2, so we keep it unloaded. Everything is going to be unloaded, including BB, pellet, airsoft. We don't have any firearms that are loaded. And then we do have real firearms. We will always make sure, and I'm going to orient to that, see where you can see right through that. It's empty. We do not have any loaded firearms when we do this, so keep that in mind. No loaded firearms. That's not what we're going to do. Now we're also going to go over the rounds that we're going to use. So let's go up to that. You have these rounds. Let's go to the different camera here. There they go. So you have these are rounds. Now none of these particular rounds can even go into this revolver. So generally we always keep live firearms or real firearms away from rounds. We're not going to have those together at all in this, because we just have a revolver and we don't have any of the ones that this will fit into. We're not going to have that. So when we go through with firearms, we're going to go from basics all the way to advanced. So we're going to start simple. We're going to move more complicated. And this show, you should be able to follow us along to get basic understanding all the way to advanced. So if you're thinking about getting a firearm, you probably want to start watching some of our newer episodes, or some of our original episodes. When you have a firearm and you're wanting to learn more, this is what we're about. It's about education and everything. We're going to go through breaking down the firearms, laws. We're going to go over rules. We're going to go over carrying, not carrying. We're going to go over handguns, shotguns, rifles. We're going to cover pretty much everything on this show. With that said, it's also all about education and safety. So anytime you're talking about firearms, you have the 4 firearm rules of safety. Let's throw those up. So with the firearms, you want to treat every firearm as if it were loaded. Okay? Never assume that it is unloaded. If you're going to assume anything, always assume it's loaded until you personally have checked it out. I don't care if you've seen someone just check the firearm and they hand it to you. Check it yourself. It's sometimes hard to see. If you didn't have the right angle, that can cause a problem. Also, you never point a firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy. That means there's no pointing it at people, pets, property. You don't even do that with a fake or toy gun, because that can cause problems. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. That's usually downrange, at the ground, or your designated safe areas. We have designated safe areas here in this office. Now, you also always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. That means you don't even want to hover it over the trigger. Keep that finger along the frame of the gun, and you're only going to move your finger down to the trigger when you've decided that you're going to make a shot. You have to shoot. You are on target and you are ready to destroy what you're pointing at. And then, of course, you always always want to know what is your target and what's beyond it. So you got to keep in mind, bullets can travel through walls, targets, they travel through objects. So make sure that you know what's in front of that target, behind that target, beside the target. Because realistically, a bullet could ricochet off and bounce off to the side. So, got to keep that in mind. So when I say finger off the trigger, this is what I'm talking about right here. So when I do this, that's where you're at. When I'm ready to shoot, then you move down to here. But until that's here, you're always here. Keep that one there. Now, this is our training gun. This doesn't even really have a trigger because it's just a big chunk of plastic. But even when I'm using this, I'm pretending this is a real firearm. I'm creating good habits even with a non-firearm to always keep that finger off the trigger and keep that like this. That's what you want to do. Always. So, finger off the trigger. Safe direction. So, we're going to zoom out. The safe direction for this is here all the way around. So that's all safe direction for me here. Might not be all safe direction for you. I know where everything is. I know I have a cameraman right here. Okay? So I'm going to always keep this pointed forward. Now, when I'm like this, I'm pointing at monitors, and if I am careless, I'm going to have to buy a new monitor. Monitors, they're not that expensive, but I don't want to have to buy a new monitor. I like my monitors. Always treat a firearm as if it's loaded. There's no way, you can't even load this, but I'm still going to treat this as if it were loaded. So, now we're going to go through like advanced ballistics. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover different type of firearms. So what you see, these are considered handguns. We're going to go over rifles. We're going to go over shotguns. We're going to go the ins and outs of pretty much every type of firearm there is. We will probably do some reviews on some firearms, stuff like that. But keep in mind, education, training, safety. That's what we're going to focus on. We're not sponsored. Right now, we're not sponsored by any manufacturer. So we're not going to... I don't believe in bashing a manufacturer. I also don't believe in talking bad about a firearm. I think each firearm has a particular use. I think you have to pick what is good for you, what you like to do, and what you're going to do with it. There are upsides and downsides to everything that you're going to have. Everything. Keep that in mind every time you're going to go through this. Weigh your options if you're looking. Go through, and I always recommend having an open mind and understanding that everything actually will have its place. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy our show. I hope you listen. I hope you educate yourself. I hope you follow us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on all social medias. We're on YouTube, Spotify. I believe we're going to be on Rumble as well. It's very, very hard to get a gun tube or a gun channel going because a lot of places like to demonetize us, and they don't like showing this kind of stuff on there. And the reason I'm going to show this stuff is because I want to focus on safety. I want to focus on education. I want to make sure that anybody that has to deal, these are in the world. I've had friends, even at a young age, that didn't know about firearms, and I've seen accidental shootings because they were not informed. They had no skill for using that. They had no safety knowledge for that. They had no training for that. They picked up something, thought it was a toy, and they have actually killed people with some of this. I'm trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. That's the purpose of my show. I want to make sure that everybody's going to be safe and people don't die needlessly for a mistake that could have been rectified by just using a little, I hate to say common sense, but a little bit of skill, a little bit of knowledge and education, and a little bit of, I don't know, understanding how a safe way of operating these are. So I always hope that that's my message. So no matter your experience, I always would recommend you want to keep learning. You always want to stay safe, and you always want to be ready. Thank you for joining us for Heartland Arms. We'll catch you on your next episode.